To save my boyfriend's company, I married a merman. The merman was aloof, lustful, and self-conscious about his fishtail. I humiliated him countless times using it. That slimy tail of yours, just looking at it disgusts me just like you. Later, I was killed by my boyfriend. To save me, the merman plucked off all his scales, willingly turned into seafoam, and died without a whole body. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the night of my wedding to the merman. He concealed the self-loathing and devastation in his eyes. What do you want to say now? I want to say, I looked up at him, can I kiss your beautiful tail? Welcome to Audio Love Tales, it's time for our story. If I remember correctly, before losing consciousness, the last person I saw was Jai Huixing. He fell into a pool of blood, revealing a tragic and beautiful smile to me. Zaioyu, don't be afraid, I can save you. Zaioyu, if I can't save you, I'll die with you. Zaioyu, actually, my fishtail isn't disgusting. Jai Huixing was saving me. He was most afraid of pain, yet he endured the heart-piercing agony to pluck out his scales. He loved the sunshine most, yet he turned into sea foam under the sun. He hated me most, yet he was willing to trade his life for mine to let me live. My back was soaked with cold sweat, and I woke up from the dream, suddenly sitting up, gasping for air in ragged breaths. Outside the window, the sun was high, flowers fragrant, and birds singing. I sat on the bed, unable to distinguish reality from the dream, and it took a long time for me to fully recover. It wasn't until I heard a knock on the door that I realized. This was not somewhere else. This was the place I had lived for a whole year. It was my home with Jai Huixing. I stumbled out of bed, rushed to the table, and clearly saw the date on the calendar. 2021. This was the year I had just married Jai Huixing. Next to the calendar was a photo of me and Jai Huixing's wedding. My hands trembled as I picked up the photo, and those unpleasant memories instantly flooded back. Jai Huixing, don't you feel disgusted with yourself? You're a merman, yet you always want to live a human life. Aren't you disgusting? Jai Huixing lowered his head, pretending not to hear my harsh words, and silently pasted together the photo I had torn, again and again. 5 minutes after the knocking on the door, the person knocking finally lost patience and pushed the door open. I thought it was Jai Huixing, so I quickly wiped away my tears and turned to look, only to see Nanny Chen. Nanny Chen frowned, scrutinized me, and said in an unpleasant tone, "What are you trying to stir up again? Didn't the young master agree to everything you wanted? What else do you want to stir up?" I didn't react immediately. Wow, what? Nanny Chen casually tossed the flower basket and dress she was holding onto the sofa and angrily glared at me. "Didn't you make a fuss about wanting to attend your ex-boyfriend's opening ceremony? The young master wouldn't let you go, so you took pills and cut your wrist, and now you're playing dumb again? Disgusting." I lowered my eyelashes, finally realizing that I had been reborn back to that day. On this day in my previous life. Because Jai Huixing wouldn't let me attend Jiang Nan's opening ceremony, we had a huge fight. And the reason Jai Huixing wouldn't let me go was because Jiang Nan would announce his relationship with my best friend at the opening ceremony. He didn't want to see me sad, but I only thought he was targeting Jiang Nan, so I hit and kicked him, said all sorts of insulting words, and even cursed at him to die. But even so, after I took sleeping pills and fell unconscious, Jai Huixing still unhesitatingly plucked out his scales to save me. I awoke from my memories. Nanny Chen hadn't left yet. She was tidying the room while complaining. "How could such a good person like the young master meet a wolf-hearted woman like you? It's truly 8 lifetimes of bad luck." I picked up the flowers and dress from the sofa and threw them directly into the trash can. Nanny Chen instantly became alert. "What are you trying to do now?" I looked up and asked. "Where is Jai Huixing?" Nanny Chen turned away and ignored me. "I don't know." I fell silent. I knew Nanny Chen wouldn't tell me, not just her, everyone in this villa wouldn't reveal Jai Huixing's whereabouts to me, because every time I looked for him, it was never for anything good. If no one would help me, then I would find him myself. I searched room by room according to my memories from the previous life, until I pushed open the door to Jai Huixing's study, and a strong smell of blood rushed towards me, instantly stunning me. I saw Jai Huixing, shirtless, weakly sitting in a pool of blood, his beautiful blue fish tail faintly glowing. He had his head down, his face bloodless, and his whole body looked dangerous yet alluring. I knew that pulling out scales was very painful for merfolk, but I had never imagined it would be such a tragic scene as the one before me. The door was suddenly pushed open by me, and Jai Huixing's face showed impatience. His voice hoarse, he spoke, "Get out." I didn't move. Jai Huixing's aura instantly turned violent, his eyes gleaming with a bloodthirsty red light, and he slowly raised his head. "Are you looking for death?" He saw that it was me, and his fierce tone paused. He quickly turned his head, his movements flustered as he tried to cover his exposed fishtail. Seeing a living Jai Huixing again, I should have been happy, but the choked sobs in my voice couldn't be suppressed. "Jai Huixing, does it hurt?" Hearing this, Jai Huixing's hand resting on his fishtail curled slightly, then he sneered and asked, "It has nothing to do with you." "Tell me, what else do you want me to do for Jiangnan?" I wiped away my tears and walked inside. "No, don't come any closer." Jai Huixing saw me lift my foot, propped himself up and tried to hide under the table while speaking in a cold tone, "Get out." My footsteps paused. Looking at his resistant expression, I bit my lip and stubbornly said, "I'm not leaving." Jai Huixing's movements froze, and the mocking curve of his lips grew wider and wider. "Not leaving. What do you want to do by staying here? What else do you want to say? Do you want a divorce, or do you want to curse me to death?" Lamtuandi, I lifted my foot and walked towards him resolutely. "Jai Huixing, actually, I wanted to say." Jai Huixing saw me approaching and indifferently tilted his head. His exquisite facial features were hidden in the dim light, making his expression unclear. I squatted down and without hesitation met his blue eyes, opening my mouth softly. "Your fishtail is truly beautiful, like glazed glass." As my voice fell, Jai Huixing's tightly clenched jaw trembled violently, and he suddenly looked up. I took the opportunity to raise my hand and cup his face, asking with utmost sincerity, "So, can I kiss it?" Jai Huixing's expression was complex as he assessed me for a long time. He gently pushed my hand away and said with a cold face, "Tang Yu, I will no longer stop you from going to find Jiangnan. You don't need to say these insincere words to please me." I looked at my empty hand and quickly explained, "Everything I said was from the heart." "Enough." Jai Huixing interrupted me, "Get out." Knowing that I couldn't be too eager, I bowed my head dejectedly and stood up, intending to bid him farewell. As a result, my foot slipped, and the world spun before my eyes. Then, I landed squarely on his tail. Before I could even cry out in pain, Jai Huixing reacted with a sharp gasp, and a strange blush instantly spread from his face to his neck. "Tang Yu, you?" He seemed about to get angry. Without another word, I decisively and fiercely kissed it several times, then carefully looked at him. "See, I really wanted to kiss your tail, truly." Jai Huixing ignored me, his eyes tightly shut, his face flushed abnormally, and his breathing was very rapid. I worriedly reached out, wanting to check his body temperature. "Jai Huixing, your face is so red, are you running a fever?" Jai Huixing suddenly opened his eyes and grabbed my hand. The next second, I was mercilessly thrown out by him. Before I could react to what was happening, the study door slammed shut in front of me. It was midday, and everything was silent, with only two small birds chattering on the window behind the door. "Caw-caw," she kissed the tail. "Caw-caw, she doesn't know that a male merman's fishtail is equivalent to a second." "Caw-caw, she's so brave, Tang the great brave, Tang the great brave." Me? I knew those two, one was called Kiki and the other was called Baba. I asked curiously, "Equivalent to a second what?" The two small birds exchanged glances, letting out a gleeful caw-caw laugh. One of the small birds flapped its wings excitedly. "Caw-caw, equivalent to a man's." Before it could finish speaking, the door behind me opened with a bang. Jai Huixing had transformed back into his human form, dressed in a clean white shirt and black trousers, wearing a pair of gold-rimmed glasses, which made him appear aloof and ascetic, with no trace of his previous disheveled state. He strode over, not even glancing at me. His distinctively jointed large hand pinched the heads of the two small birds and casually tossed them out the window. Soon, two birds' wailing cries came from outside the window. I worriedly took 2 steps forward. "Jai Huixing, are you okay?" Jai Huixing had his back to me, his voice hoarse. "Tang Yu, don't blame me for not reminding you. If you go now, you can still catch a meal with Jiangnan." Looking at his indifferent back, I bit my lip, then pounced and hugged his arm. "Why would I want to eat with someone else?" "I only want to eat with you." After thinking for a moment, I added, "husband." As soon as Jai Huixing heard the 2 words husband, he suddenly pulled his arm away, moving far from me. "Tang Yu." "Yes." He suppressed the violence in his eyes, laughing in extreme anger. Last time you called me that, it was to pull out my scales to give to Jiangnan. So this time, what is it for? For my heart? A pang of pain went through my heart. I stepped forward and grabbed his hand, refusing to let go. Of course not. Aren't we husband and wife? It's perfectly normal for me to call you that. Jai Huixing still didn't believe me, his suspicious gaze sweeping over me repeatedly. Finally, he glanced at his watch. If you don't go now, you really won't see Jiangnan. Why does he keep bringing up Jiangnan? Could it be that he's the one who actually likes Jiangnan? I stood on my tiptoes, hooked my arms around his neck, and said pitifully, I didn't want to see him anyway. I only want to see you, husband. I'm so hungry, I haven't eaten anything all day. Jai Huixing lowered his eyelashes, and a trace of heartache flashed in his calm, clear eyes. It seemed that playing the victim was effective. I blinked, continuing to look at him with extreme pity. Today I rushed out to see you, wearing shoes that didn't fit, and my feet are injured. It hurts so much. Hearing this, he was silent for a long time, then finally sighed in resignation, squatted down, and carefully took my ankle. Let me see. I nodded vigorously, then propped my chin, seriously gazing at Jai Huixing. People often say that mermaids from the deep sea are incredibly beautiful and skilled at enchanting hearts. My gaze followed Jai Huixing's long, slightly upturned eyelashes, tracing down his fair, delicate profile, finally resting on his rosy, soft lips. I couldn't help but swallow. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful little merman, what a good mouth to kiss. Thinking this, I did just that, raising my hand to embrace his neck. Jai Huixing's eyelashes trembled and he slightly raised his eyes. His gaze seemed to carry an almost imperceptible hook, silently looking at me. Kiss, should I kiss? Just a little kiss, just one. I couldn't control myself and leaned towards his lips. Just as I was about to kiss him, my phone rang. The ambiguous atmosphere was instantly shattered. A trace of disappointment flashed across Jai Huixing's face. He averted his gaze, pretending as if nothing had happened. Annoyed, I pulled out my phone, answered it without looking, and said, "You'd better tell me the sky is falling." Before I could finish speaking, Jiang Nan's complaining voice came from the other end. Tang Tang, did Jai Huixing agree? Why aren't you saying anything? Lam Twindy, did he not agree to you? You can play the victim, make him feel sorry for you. Tang Tang, everything is just a temporary measure. I know you find his tale disgusting, but once it's done, we can be together forever. My heart tightened, and I quickly looked up to see Jai Huixing. Jai Huixing was also staring at me, his eyes filled with a terrifying darkness. Seeing me look at him, he let out 2 sarcastic laughs, pulled his hand away from mine, stood up, and walked away. I hung up the phone and slowly chased after him. Jai Huixing, it's not what you heard, you don't need to listen to that idiot's nonsense. Enough, Tang Yu. Jai Huixing stopped, not even glancing at me. His voice was cold, but his figure trembled. Go find him, I said, I won't stop you anymore. I bit my lip, rushed forward, and hugged his waist. His back stiffened, as if he wanted to break free from me. I threw caution to the wind, twisted his face towards me, pulled off his glasses, and began to kiss him wildly. He tried to struggle, but then feared hurting me, so he awkwardly held my waist, letting me cover his face with saliva. A long time passed. I opened my eyes and looked at Jai Huixing. I saw his eyes were red and moist, his collar disheveled, looking utterly ravaged by me. I guiltily averted my gaze, not quite daring to speak to him. Jai Huixing glanced at me, then lowered his eyelids, his voice soft. Now that you've kissed me, should you go find him? Of course not. I suddenly turned my head, wishing I could swear to the heavens. Falling for Jiangnan before was me being blind, Jai Huixing, I swear, from now on, my eyes will only be on you, let's live well together. Jai Huixing lifted his eyelids to look at me, then lowered his head again, giving 2 bitter laughs. You've said such lies countless times. I grew anxious, desperately wanting to prove to him, this time it's really not a lie, Jai Huixing. Jai Huixing twirled the ring on his ring finger, not saying anything, but clearly not believing me. Looking at his action, I suddenly remembered that the mermaid tribe seemed to have a kind of contract that once signed would bind them together for life. In my previous life, he was so hurt by me that he tried to sign the contract more than once, but I stubbornly refused, even to the point of threatening death. Thinking of this, I felt as if I had grasped a life-saving straw and hurriedly said, "Do you mermaids have some kind of contract?" Jai Huixing lowered his head, still not saying a word. "I'm willing to sign a contract with you to be bound to you forever, you believe? Good. Jai Huixing looked up in a second. That phrase, "you believe me," was thus stuck in my throat. Outside the window, those two little birds started chirping again. Caw-caw, hook system, this is the hook system. Caw-caw, fooled, Tang Deung was fooled. I didn't hear clearly. What are they saying? Hook what? Fishing. Jai Huixing said without changing his expression. They said they want a fish. Me, fishing, birds want a fish. After dinner, Jai Huixing immediately went into the bathroom. I sat on the sofa, playing with my phone. Just then, Jiangnan sent me a voice message with a sobbing tone. Tang Tang, I'm drunk, can you come pick me up? I glanced at the time. It was 11:30 p.m. I sneered and replied to him. Okay, Jiangnan, I'll go pick you up. You absolutely must wait for me. Absolutely don't leave, you must wait for me. Wait for me. After sending this voice message, I didn't hesitate to turn off my phone and toss it aside. Idiot, you'd better wait until you die. Collecting my thoughts, I suddenly felt a chill down my spine. Shrugging my shoulders, I turned my head to look. I saw Jai Huixing, covered in steam, wearing a short-sleeved shirt and shorts that looked very much like a primary school uniform, staring motionlessly at me, a dark glint flickering in his eyes. I curved my eyes. Jai? He ignored me with a cold face, retreated into the bathroom, and slammed the bathroom door shut with a bang. I was startled. On second thought, he must have misunderstood after hearing the voice message I just sent. Thinking of this, I quickly stood up, wanting to knock on the door. As soon as I reached the door, the bathroom door opened with a whoosh. I hastily explained, Jai Huixing? Before I could finish speaking, I was stunned. Jai Huixing had changed out of the short-sleeved shirt and shorts. He was bare-chested, only wrapped in a towel, his hair dripping water, and water droplets landed on his firm chest, rolling down his mermaid line into the towel. I stared intently, couldn't help but swallow, and completely forgot what I wanted to say. Jai Huixing lowered his eyes. Are you going out? I came back to my senses. I'm not. Jai Huixing's emotions were low, and he took a few steps closer. Are you coming back? I instinctively nodded, then quickly shook my head. I'm not going out, Jai Huixing, I would never go pick him up. Jai Huixing's legs suddenly went soft, and his whole body instantly leaned against me. I nervously supported him. Jai Huixing, what's wrong? Jai Huixing's face was a little flushed. He blinked, looking at me innocently. Xiao, I think I stayed in the bathroom for too long, I'm short of oxygen, my head feels so dizzy. Short of oxygen. I anxiously touched his forehead. What should we do? You sit down first, I'll go get you a glass of water. He weakly looked up. Okay. I fumbled to pour water for Jai Huixing. In the living room, the scattered birds once again let out their piercing cries. Caw-caw, seductive. Green tea. Seductive green tea paired with an idiot. I didn't have time to react to the two of them. It was only in the instant I turned around that I seemed to see Jai Huixing lift his foot without hesitation, kicking one bird with each foot. The two birds instantly shot out. Jai Huixing finished drinking water and leaned back on the sofa, closing his eyes to rest. I sat to one side, my gaze involuntarily falling on him once again. Jai Huixing dozed off slightly, leaning his head back loosely on the sofa, perfectly revealing his distinct jawline and a sexy, prominent Adam's apple. Moving my gaze upwards, I could also see his moist, soft, thin lips glistening under the light. I suddenly felt a little thirsty. This stinky fish, how could he grow up to be so captivating? I vigorously shook my head, then simply stood up to find something to do, completely unaware. Behind me, Jai Huixing suddenly opened his eyes, a hint of slyness flashing in their depths as he gazed intently at me. For the past few days of our marriage, I had been staying in the guest bedroom, and all my clothes and daily necessities were piled up there. I walked into the guest bedroom and opened the wardrobe to tidy up my belongings. I don't know how much time passed when Jai Huixing's voice suddenly rang out behind me. Taking clothes? Are you still going to find him? I abruptly turned my head. Jai Huixing suppressed the pain in his eyes, a bitter smile on his face. Out, it's cold outside, remember. Remember to wear more. With that, he turned and fled into the master bedroom as if escaping, closing the door behind him. 3 minutes later, I pushed open the master bedroom door, carrying a pile of clothes. Hearing the sound, Jai Huixing looked up. I glared at him, panting. Jai Huixing, come help, there's too much stuff. I'm about to drop it. Jai Huixing froze for a second, his eyes filled with complex emotions. What are you trying to do? I put down the items, hands on my hips. Can't you tell? Of course, I'm moving into the master bedroom. As my voice fell, Jai Huixing suddenly looked up, staring at me in disbelief. I pushed all the black clothes in the wardrobe to one side and then hung all my own clothes inside. Jai Huixing hadn't said a word since just now, only following closely by my side. It was silent all around. Jai Huixing suddenly spoke. Xiaoyu, what is this? I glanced at the item in his hand. Oh, that's my lip balm. Jai Huixing blinked. How do you use it? I didn't even lift my head. How else would you use lip balm? You just apply it directly to your lips. Oh, is that how it's done? I looked up at him, just meeting his gaze. Jai Huixing, dressed in dark clothes, was staring straight at me, his thin lips, freshly coated with lip balm, gleaming with a faint shine like fruit jelly. It looked very kissable. Damn it, a simple lip balm actually made him look so seductive. My face flushed and I quickly averted my gaze. You need to press your lips together a bit. Jai Huixing responded softly. Press my lips together, like this. I couldn't control myself and looked at him again. He blinked his eyes, silently watching me. Damn it, I can't hold back. I bit my lip lightly, then suddenly leaned over, lifted his face, and fiercely nibbled a few times. Whew, that felt good. I let go and opened my eyes to look at him. Jai Huixing said nothing, his eye sockets red, his face covered in lipstick marks, his clothes disheveled, his eyes downcast, looking like a wronged little wife who had been bullied but dared not speak. Seeing this, I immediately felt embarrassed. Jai Huixing, what's wrong? He pressed his lips together, his expression lonely, and spoke in a low voice. Mermaids from the deep sea cannot be kissed casually. A kiss means responsibility. Seeing his pitiful appearance, I wished I could swear an oath. Responsible, I will definitely be responsible, I'll marry you. As soon as these words came out, both of us were stunned. I was truly dazed by his kiss, just blurting out anything. Jai Huixing suddenly looked up, no longer showing his previous wronged expression. His eyes were full of possessiveness, staring at me as if he was about to dismember me and swallow me whole in the next second. I awkwardly cleared my throat, then looked up at him seriously. Jai Huixing, in the past, I was blind and foolish, and I did many things that hurt you, but from now on, I won't. Jai Huixing, I will love you well. This time, it was his turn to lean over, lifting my face with one hand. I instinctively looked up. Trust me, okay? Before I could finish speaking, he lowered his head and covered my mouth. Oh, this little silly fish is quite good at kissing. Okay, open your mouth. In the midst of our passionate embrace, I heard him say this in my ear. A beautiful dream. Early in the morning, I heard a commotion downstairs. Annoyed, I got up, only to find that Jai Huixing, who had originally been sleeping beside me, was long gone. Scattered images from last night flashed through my mind. I vaguely remembered. Disregarding Jai Huixing's resistance, I used both my hands and feet, clinging tightly to him and refusing to let go. I slept quite well, but he seemed to have taken many cold showers. I rubbed my head, put on my slippers, and went downstairs, only to discover that the person making noise downstairs was none other than Jiang Nan. The moment Jiang Nan saw me, he rolled his eyes several times, his voice full of resentment. Tang Yu, why are you only coming out now? Do you know how long I've been waiting for you here? What's wrong with you? Why didn't you come out to greet me? And you just let these dog-eyed nannies who look down on people block me. I quickly lowered my head and fiddled with the large diamond ring on my ring finger, not bothering to respond to him. When did Jai Huixing put this ring on me? Last night. Such a big one, how much must it cost? Jiang Nan took a deep breath, his voice full of condescension and disdain, yet his face was plastered with a smile. Tang Yu, I've thought about it. You should still not stay by Jai Huixing's side. I've decided to take you away. You must be overjoyed, right? I looked up at Jiang Nan and went straight to the point. Overjoyed your mother. Jiang Nan proudly raised an eyebrow. Of course I know you're happy about my mother. You, what did you say? I crossed my arms and raised my chin. Jiang Nan, I used to be good to you because you saved my life, but as of today, that life has been returned to you, so we are even. You should hurry up and get lost, just looking at you annoys me. Hearing the words saved my life. A trace of guilt flashed in Jiang Nan's eyes, then he suddenly raised his voice. Tang Yu, 2 years ago, if it weren't for me, you would have drowned in the sea. This life of yours was given to you by me. My parents both said that I am your savior, and you must repay me. During the years I was adopted by the Jiang family, they never stopped lecturing me about how much I owed them. And because of Jiang Nan's life-saving grace that year, I listened to everything he said. But this time was different. He killed me once, so we are even. I frowned and looked at him, but before I could speak, I felt the surrounding air temperature drop instantly. I tilted my head, and from the corner of my eye, I indeed saw Jai Huixing standing on the second floor, hands in his pockets, his eyes heavily fixed in my and Jiang Nan's direction. Jiang Nan was still speaking. Tang Yu, stop pretending, your temper should be moderate. I know you hate Jai Huixing and want to leave with me, you must be dying to, right? I withdrew my gaze and looked at Jiang Nan, raising my voice. What? How did you know I'm about to die of love for my husband? Jiang Nan was stunned. What are you talking about? I covered my chest. You're right, I can't live without him. I wish I could tie myself to him. I love him so much, if I don't see him for a second, my heart will stop beating. Jiang Nan frowned. When did I say? I interrupted him, waving my hand. But there's no helping it, after all, my husband is tall, handsome, rich, has a good figure, excellent stamina, and countless advantages. The moment he stands there, I can no longer see anyone else. My eyes are all on him. The surrounding air temperature gradually warmed up, and footsteps sounded behind me. Jai Huixing had walked over. Behind him was his good brother Lin Mo, who was staring at me with a shocked expression. I turned my head, feigning surprise and covering my mouth. Husband, when did you arrive? I just saw you. After a pause, I covered my face and hid in his arms. Oh my goodness, how embarrassing, how embarrassing. You heard all those truly, truly heartfelt words I just said, didn't you? Jai Huixing raised his hand and stroked my waist, his thin lips slightly parted, his voice hoarse to a frightening degree. Yes, I heard it all. Lin Mo, on the side, rubbed his arm and kept rolling his eyes. Big sister, what you just said was too fake. What kind of idiot would like to hear that? You're trying to fool a 3-year-old child. I glared at him, but before I could speak. Jai Huixing lowered his head and rubbed the tip of my nose, his voice tender. I love hearing it, it sounds so good, say more, okay? Lin Mo. I grinned and nodded vigorously. After a long silence, Jiang Nan forced out an ugly smile. Tang Tang, I'm leaving first, I'll still come to find you. Having said that, he turned his head and walked out looking very reluctant. Wait a moment, I called him back. At the same time, I felt Jai Huixing's grip on me suddenly tighten. I pretended not to notice, cleared my throat, and said, Mr. Jiang, please don't come looking for me again in the future. I'm already married and don't want too much contact with you, and even less do I want to make my husband suspicious. That's how it is, you should leave quickly, don't keep looking back. We're about to have dinner, and we haven't made any for you. As my voice fell, the strength in my hand instantly softened. Jiang Nan still wanted to speak, but Jai Huixing raised his eyes and gave him a light, fleeting glance. Jiang Nan's eyes were filled with fear, and he instantly fell silent, tucking his tail between his legs and scurrying away. I turned around. Carelessly, I saw Lin Mo repeatedly making faces at Jai Huixing, his expression seemingly provocative. A bad feeling suddenly arose in my heart. Jai Huixing, were you always bullied in the sea before? Jai Huixing looked at me, saying nothing. Meanwhile, Lin Mo, as if he had heard some joke, laughed so hard he swayed back and forth. Bully him? What nonsense are you talking about? Whoever dares to touch a single hair on his head will be chopped into pieces and fed to crocodiles. I didn't believe Lin Mo's nonsense, only Jai Huixing. You're such a beautiful merman, those rotten shrimp and stinky fish in the sea must have bullied you a lot, right? No, actually. Jai Huixing looked up, met my eyes full of heartache, and pursed his lips as if he had made some kind of decision, saying firmly, Actually, you're right, they all bullied me. See, I was right. Jai Huixing lowered his eyelashes, his fingers insecurely hooked onto my hair, his voice low and aggrieved. I used to be very weak. When I was in the sea, no one loved me, no one treated me well, they all bullied me. Seeing Jai Huixing lower his head, looking so aggrieved, like an innocent puppy that had suffered all sorts of bullying, my heart melted into a mess. I quickly stood up and hugged him tightly. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. You suffered before, but you won't anymore. I'll protect you, okay? Jai Huixing's voice was muffled. Then, will you leave me? Of course not. Will you not want me? No. Will you find me annoying? No, I won't. Will you find me clingy? No, I like you being close to me. Hearing this, Jai Huixing rubbed against me in my arms, his fluffy head tickling my chin. Zio Yu, you're so good to me. In this world, only you treat me well. I have nothing but you. Am I very pitiful? I lowered my head and indeed saw every strand of Jai Huixing's hair telling of his past grievances. My heart ached terribly, and I quickly hugged him tighter. Yes, you are so pitiful. I'm already so pitiful, can you be even better to me? Of course I can. Then you sleep with me. Jai Huixing's expression changed in a second. Me. Living two lives, this was still the first time I had shared a bed with Jai Huixing. The beautiful little merman lay beside me, and I felt a bit restless. Looking up at the ceiling, I heard Jai Huixing's breathing beside me become steadier and steadier. Jai Huixing, are you asleep? His voice was terribly hoarse, and he quickly replied to me, not yet. I remembered the information I had seen online before, so I turned over to face him and quietly asked, Jai Huixing, I saw online that merfolk have two of those. You know what I'm talking about, right? Is it true? Can I see? Upon hearing this, Jai Huixing's body stiffened violently, and his breathing began to quicken. After repeated deep breaths, he gritted his teeth and said, shut up, sleep. Oh. His breathing wasn't quite right, so I didn't dare to provoke him, obediently turning over and closing my eyes. 20 minutes later, Jai Huixing's breathing gradually stabilized. I poked my head out from under the covers, blinking. So, is it really true? Jai Huixing took a sharp breath. Sang you. Not right, very not right. I closed my eyes and quickly burrowed into the covers, but it was already too late. Jai Huixing gently grasped my shoulder, his eyes a strange shade of red. Xiao, I'm sorry, I want to. Wah. I hadn't even finished my sentence when he pulled me directly beneath him, his voice carrying a coaxing tone. Be good, didn't you want to know if there are two? I'll let you see, okay? NG Jai Huixing. Jai Huixing seemed to be tireless. I vaguely remember that by the time I fell asleep, the sky was already bright. A second before I drifted off, I felt Jai Huixing gently kiss my forehead, his voice low and lingering. I found the coral stone you wanted at the bottom of the sea. If you don't want to sneak into the deep sea, then I will come ashore for you. Baby, I'm very good. Please try to love me wholeheartedly, okay? Okay. I was too tired to speak, so I could only answer him in my heart. I slept for a long time and had many chaotic dreams. In the dream, at 16, I unexpectedly lost my parents and was adopted by my father's good friend, Uncle Jiang. Jiang Nan's mother, in order to get my parents' assets to support her laboratory, desperately brainwashed me into believing that Jiang Nan had saved me that year. I looked up, stubbornly telling Jiang Nan's mother, no, the one who saved me wasn't Jiang Nan, it was a very beautiful mermaid. Yes, the one who rescued me from the sea was a very beautiful mermaid. That mermaid also stayed with me there for so many days, and he even invited me to go to the bottom of the sea with him. Jiang Nan's mother slapped me across the face, knocking me to the ground. What mermaid? It was Jiang Nan. Jiang Nan is your savior, you should give all your assets to our family. That's not how it is. I refused to listen, so she kept hitting me until I was barely breathing before she stopped. Bitch, you don't learn. I'll keep hitting you until you do. Life in the Jiang family was truly difficult. To save money, Jiang Nan's mother fired the nanny and made me do all the manual labor. I had to wash dishes, cook, could only eat leftovers, could only wear Jiang Nan's old clothes, and could only sleep on the floor outside the door. In that house, anyone who was unhappy could beat and scold me to vent their anger. It hurt so much, it really hurt so much. I cried myself to sleep almost every day. Oh, mermaid from the deep sea, didn't you say you would protect me? Didn't you say you would come back for me once you found the coral stone? Why haven't you come back yet? I hurt so much. Later, before I could wait for the mermaid I longed for, I became an experimental subject in Jiang Nan's mother's laboratory. They changed all my blood, distorted my memories, and locked me in the laboratory, never seeing the light of day. Gradually, I started to forget what that mermaid looked like. Every time I slept for a while, his image would become a little blurrier in my memory. I didn't want to forget him like that, so I started trying to control my sleepiness. I used a stolen needle to prick my arm. I used a stone to hit my leg. I left countless bloody wounds on my body, just to remember him. But their experiment still succeeded. That beautiful mermaid became an enemy in my memory, while Jiang Nan became my benefactor. Those bad memories that had been suppressed completely reawakened. I was in so much pain I could barely breathe, desperately reaching out to grasp something, but it was in vain, until my hand was suddenly grasped by someone. I abruptly opened my eyes, meeting Jai Huixing's worried gaze. The dream shattered, and I returned to reality. This time, I was no longer alone. The mermaid who supported my struggle to survive was not just someone I could see in dreams. He was right beside me, within arm's reach. Xiaoyu, wake up, you're having a nightmare. I suddenly sat up, hugging his neck tightly. Before he could react, I was sobbing in his arms, unable to catch my breath. You lied, didn't you say you'd find the coral stone and come back right away? I've been waiting for you, but I couldn't wait for you. What should I do? I couldn't wait for you. Didn't you say you wanted to take me to the bottom of the sea? I want to go to the bottom of the sea. I don't want to go with them. Will you take me to the bottom of the sea? Okay. They drew my blood, with such thick needles, over and over again. They tortured me to the point where death felt like a release. Seeing you, going to the bottom of the sea with you, was the only thought that kept me alive. How could I not want to go to the bottom of the sea with you? I've been thinking about it like crazy. Jai Huixing, I'm so sorry for all the things I did to hurt you before. But I am who I am. How should I put it? I'm sorry, these past few years, I've really missed you. I didn't care if Jai Huixing understood or not, I just wanted to tell him everything. Jai Huixing listened intently, his eyes tinged with red, his body trembling. He held me tightly, almost wanting to meld me into his body. A long time passed. My emotions gradually stabilized. I wanted to speak, but accidentally blew a snot bubble. I awkwardly raised my hand to push him. Jai Huixing, you let go first. Jai Huixing obediently released me. It was then that I suddenly noticed a stone hanging around Jai Huixing's neck. The stone was blood red and emitted a faint glow. I grasped the stone, looking up at him. This is. Jai Huixing held my hand. It's the most beautiful coral stone from the bottom of the sea, the coral stone that was originally for you. But when I came back, you weren't there anymore. My nose stung. Then, what happened next? He wiped away my tears, speaking calmly as if it were someone else's story. Then, I waited for you there year after year, but I was too useless. I didn't wait for you, so I could only come to find you. Lamtuan D, are you stupid? What if I had died? Merfolk only know one mate in their entire lives. Jai Huixing leaned down, looked into my eyes, and promised seriously, enunciating each word. Therefore, if you live, I live. If you die, I will absolutely not live alone. I couldn't help but throw myself into his arms, crying loudly once again. 3 days later, the renowned Jiang's laboratory was exposed for having conducted illegal experiments for many years. The police quickly sealed off the laboratory. Jiang Nan's mother committed suicide by jumping from a building that night. Jiang Nan, who had assisted his mother in the experiments, was also taken away by the police. When I heard this news, I was teasing Kiki and Baba. Jai Huixing sat behind me, watching my every move intently. I don't know who was so mean as to pluck all the feathers from Kiki and Baba. The two bald birds flapped their wings indignantly, repeating nonstop. Caw-caw, caw-caw, bad person good, caw-caw, curse curse, leave leave leave. Soon, the two of them couldn't even say caw-caw anymore, only able to stare wide-eyed and helplessly at each other. I quickly called out to Jai Huixing. Jai Huixing, Kiki and Baba seem to be sick, come and see. Really? Hearing my call, Jai Huixing stood up and walked over, stopping behind me. His chest pressed against my back and then he blew into my ear, slowly saying, sick. I nodded vigorously. Yes, look, they suddenly can't speak. Jai Huixing stared at my mouth, his right hand climbing up along my waistline, and absent-mindedly replied, oh, maybe it's their physiological period. Physiological period? I turned around in shock. Birds have physiological periods too. Jai Huixing leaned in, gently kissing my chin. And what did you search for on the computer last night? What? I looked at Jai Huixing's smiling eyes, not understanding why, then suddenly remembered what I had searched for yesterday. Jai Huixing lightly kissed my earlobe, speaking indistinctly. Can humans and mermaids have children? If you want to know, you shouldn't search online. My face turned completely red. I instinctively raised my hand to cover his mouth, stammering, Jai Huixing, don't say any more. He took the opportunity to lightly peck my palm, raising his eyes to look at me, his gaze seemingly carrying a seductive hook. You should try it yourself. The next second, Jai Huixing picked me up in his arms and headed towards the bedroom. Let's go try. Jai Huixing, it's daytime now, you. End of main text. Extra story, Jai Huixing. From the day I was born, I was different from other merfolk. My father is the king of the deep sea, and my mother is the princess of the deep sea. The witch said that I am the purest royal bloodline, rarely seen in 100 years. A merman like me is born a favored child of heaven, the most noble little prince of the deep sea. The tears I shed turn into pearls, my singing voice is the most melodious in all the seas, and my fishtail emits the rarest sapphire blue light. I lived carefree in the deep sea for hundreds of years, until I met that human girl. It is recorded in a brief history of the deep sea, a merman will only have one partner in their entire life. Once recognized, it is for generations, for eternity, never to be abandoned. Yet humans can have countless partners. They say, humans in the end, love is entirely dependent on conscience. Therefore, merfolk absolutely cannot fall in love with humans because it will only bring harm and unhappiness. I firmly believed that a brief history of the deep sea would not lie to me, and I always regarded humans as beasts. But this girl in front of me doesn't seem like a beast. Rather, she's like a small flower swaying in the wind and rain. I don't know human language, but she always seems to be able to see through what I want to say. She calls me little fish brother. She will actively take my hand, and she will also sing human songs for me. I angrily flicked my tail, trying to drive her away. She blinked, and from following me closely, she started following me from a distance. She doesn't seem to be afraid of me and even says I'm a good person. No, a good fish, I laughed. Look at her silly face, does she even distinguish between good and bad? I thought I should return to the deep sea and let her stay on the shore and cry alone. However, I kind of don't want to see her cry. Just accompany her, I told myself. I don't know what made me uncontrollably want to get close to her. In short, every day I spent with her was very happy. Later, she said she wanted the most beautiful deep-sea coral. To find it, I endured countless hardships and was severely injured, but I didn't mind any of it. However, when I excitedly carried that coral stone to the shore, she was long gone, just like that, from sunrise to sunset and from sunset back to sunrise. I waited for her countless days and nights and finally understood. She didn't need the coral I found, and she didn't need me. Bad person, I hate you. How could you deceive a small animal? I don't remember how long I waited for her. It felt like 3 years, it felt like 6 years. In short, I couldn't wait for her. So, I decided I wanted to go find her. I knew that the sea witch at the bottom of the sea had a potion that could turn me into a human. The old witch's face flickered in the dim light, her voice revealing infinite sorrow. From ancient times until now, no fish who has fallen in love with a human has ever lived to old age. Your Highness, in the deep sea, you are a noble prince, but on land, you will lose everything. If she doesn't love you, you will even lose your life. Even so, do you still want to go find her? I suddenly realized, so this is love. I nodded firmly. The process of transforming into a human was incredibly painful. I exchanged my proud singing voice for a chance to speak. I drank the witch's potion, turning my tail into human legs. From then on, I could no longer sing. The witch's potion had side effects. Although I had human legs, every step I took felt like stepping on a blade, a heart-piercing pain. It doesn't matter, none of it matters. I hurt so much, but just thinking about seeing her soon, it seemed not to hurt as much. I am the most resilient little fish in the deep sea, that's what they all say. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm just afraid she doesn't love me. Love me, okay? I had never explicitly said these words to her, because I was afraid of seeing her eyes filled with disgust. That feeling hurt me more than the witch's potion. Not only did she forget me, but she also truly disliked me. But if she had looked at me seriously, she would have known. These confessions were hidden in my gaze fixed on her, hidden in my uncontrollable heartbeat, hidden in every blush of mine. I used these methods more than once to silently ask her, "Love me, okay? Just try to share a little love with me, okay? Little fish, love me." Perhaps heaven heard my prayer. Suddenly, one day, the look in her eyes was no longer disgust and revulsion, but had turned into guilt and affection. I thought darkly. Guilt could trap her. Affection could be considered love. In that case, could I use these to bind her for life? I admit I am despicable, I am dark, I will stop at nothing. I began to package myself as even more pitiful just to gain her sympathy. Little fish, can you look at me seriously this time? I love you to the point of madness. I willingly surrender my life to you. I just want to be by your side forever, regardless of life or death. End. We appreciate you listening to the story at Audio Love Tales. Kindly like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content.